Hello and welcome to the Alchemist Inkwell.
This is your spiritual podcast for grounded people in ungrounded times.
Oh my God. And okay. Retrograde kicked my ass this morning. If you're like, wow, Emily looks really tired, it's because I just fucking woke up. It's not normal. It's not normal. It's not typical. Mercury retrograde was like, oh, did you want alarms? And you don't get those today. So I didn't get them. And I really overslept. And now I am here.
Yeah.
Also, I think we were doing your intro. I almost forgot how to do it. So fuck you, Mercury retrograde. Just fall off a cliff.
Oh man, yeah. And to the tune of, so Mercury retrograde is half over the Wednesday, so the day before this episode airs to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Mercury retrograde is half over. We have our Kazemi. Actually, that's a lie.
Is
Today's
that today?
No, hang on. It's tomorrow. It's Thursday.
Okay.
It's in the middle of the calendar thing that I look at. So my brain's always like Wednesday, and it's not Wednesday. But that's
Oh,
Mercury
fair.
retrograde for you. So it is the day that this airs
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. Mercury will have its interior Kazemi, which is the one that happens in the middle of the retrograde. Um,
Okay.
and then the
That makes sense.
following day, Mars goes retrograde. So we're going to have Mercury and Mars retrograde at the same time through the 15th. When we get a full moon in Gemini, then Mercury goes direct. So that's nice.
It's,
Um, but what I
it's gonna be
really
an
want to point out,
experience.
yeah, the thing that I really want to emphasize, and you might hear it in my tone already, irritability, agitation, frustration, those are things that we can expect, especially with a Mars retrograde, complicated by a Mercury retrograde. But is gonna be retrograde until February 23rd. And Mars stirs stuff up. Mars is
Mm.
actually considered severing by nature, right? Mars will cut you. Um, but also,
Mars sucks.
Mars in retrograde is considered to sort of be a little bit destructive. It's like a kid throwing a tantrum on a rampage. Like the kid that's having a fit in a store and is breaking things. That's Mars retrograde. So
So funny that before you even said kid, like I was like, Mars sucks. My kids just showed me like crayons breaking, which is like the worst thing you could do
there's
to a
no reason
person.
for that. Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, why? And then you're like, it's like a little kid. I'm like, that's why.
Yeah, every day before the day gets started recently, I've been like looking at the astrology and posting a little like horoscope for the day on BlueSky. And
Hmm.
today is not the day to jump to conclusions. And I've had so many opportunities today to jump to conclusions, and I've been trying to remember to listen to myself, but also I'm tempted to not to. So just so everybody knows, right? Like even the astrologer who makes this lovely little horoscope at the beginning of the day and it's like, don't jump to conclusions. We have to listen to ourselves too, but it is hard. Like I'm not
Hmm.
saying it's easy to take a breath, to stay curious, to do all these things. It's just the best coping mechanism that my coaching certification has prepared me to offer.
Yeah. No, it's fair. Hello, Callum.
Oh, Callum, thank you. You make everything better. Settling in
Blessing us
too.
with your presence.
Right? Hang out, bud.
It's like, I liked that we slept in. I don't know what you're talking about. This is great.
Oh, yeah. So if you're
Um,
frustrated right now, be
mhm,
frustrated with us. We're with you. You are not alone. It's been
mhm.
frustrating. And
Yeah.
it's probably going to keep being frustrating. And in that, I hope that we find more ways to be active about it, to be proactive about it, rather than my biggest fear for myself is slipping into apathy.
Yeah.
And to
Yeah.
just like accepting it and allowing myself to be walked all over. There are
Yeah.
things locally going on that like I may be showing up at a school board meeting. I have no kids. I am not in a school, but they're coming for certain people's rights at a local school board, and I may just sit there and I may actually say something too. I'm definitely writing letters. So,
Hmm.
you know, there's frustration and then there's action that we can take that will help us channel that frustration into something that helps us. Don't forget yourself, but also that can help to really handle the source rather than just the
Hmm.
symptoms, which we will also handle as needed. But handling the source of the frustrations is going to be really important. And having the presence of mind to find that source is going to be really powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was looking at the energy of this week, I was like, oh, cool. So our brains just aren't there.
Hmm.
That's fun. Like all intelligent thought just was like, oh, did you want me to happen this week?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. and just flitted away. And that really is the energy of like what it looks like right now is this combination of Mars coming in and being like, haha, and Mercury being like, already running backwards, is not doing great in our mental health spaces.
Hmm.
Plus there's weird timeline stuff happening. Like I keep looking at it and I'm like, what is going on? And it feels like timelines are playing double dutch. Like you don't know which one you're
Hmm.
jumping over at any given moment.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good analogy.
and I dislike it.
Hmm.
On a deep core level, I keep looking at it, I'm like, why are we doing this? Like, stop. And I know it's still the amount of beings that are trying to influence like what direction we head in.
Hmm.
It's more of that just kind of happening. But I would really like it to not occur any longer. It is incredibly frustrating. But anyway, all that is to say, my number one thing when I looked this week, I was like, okay, so we all need to ground like repeatedly and often.
Hmm.
And especially with Mars coming in as well and also messing with us, that is even more of a necessity. Like,
Yeah.
please ground your energy repeatedly and often,
Hmm.
please.
Yeah.
It is so needed. It
Hmm.
is so needed. Like every time before you drive a car, please take a second to ground your energy,
That's a really good
especially for
point.
the next 2 weeks. Like,
Hmm.
please do that. We have both of us have so many tips on how to ground your energy in so many different
Yeah.
places that you can do. There's so many different ways. We even have other episodes we did just on grounding. So there's tons of different things. We're not asking you to like stand barefoot in the dirt before you drive a car. But like
Hmm.
for the love of goodness, please ground your energy before you operate machinery.
Yeah.
Um, we need it so badly. And if you notice, like, wow, I'm forgetting everything. Yeah.
Hmm. Ground your energy, that might
Yes.
help a little bit, but
Hmm.
also, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I know. I was.
there's such a thin line between aligned action and something
Hmm.
that will be incurring consequences that you don't want. So it's really
Hmm.
important to ground yourself to make sure you're more in the aligned action sphere than
Yeah.
the one that incurs consequences.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. And on top of that, too, it is a time to re-up your wards.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do wards, I don't know, maybe every couple months I would do it kind of casually and it wouldn't be a big one. And then once a year I'd do like a big reestablishing of like the awards, drawing the symbols on the ground, like the whole 9 yards. I have moved that to once every 2-ish weeks and
Mm-hmm.
doing that big one. And that's probably going to be the same for the foreseeable future, if not
Yeah.
sooner, like smaller gaps.
Yeah.
Please re-up your wards. Please re-protect your house. I'm not saying like it's coming for you, but more things have access to us now. Our vibration has totally changed as a planet. Things have totally shifted. And as we continue to shift with our timeline double dutch and the different things happening, basically what that means is we need wards that align with the vibration that is coming in. And if as we continue to rise in vibration, if we leave our wards down here and our vibrations up here, we're gonna have issues.
Mm-hmm.
So please do that.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty please. It's very,
Absolutely.
very necessary right now. Very necessary. Also, Mars makes me mad. Like, why does Mars have to come in and do Mars stuff right now?
Because that's what Mars does.
I know.
And
I
the
know
fact,
Mars is your ruling planet, but damn you, Mars.
oh no, I mean, right now I'm not cool with them either. Um,
Okay. Cool.
Mars is my ruling planet, sure, but Mars is going to retrograde through my 10th house. And I'm just like,
Oh no. So sorry.
thanks.
So not fun.
I mean, it
I
could
don't
be
even know
worse.
where he's retrograding on mine. So like mine
Well,
could probably also be
let
shitty,
me
but
just do my astromath here really quick because,
oh God.
um, it's your 11th. So,
Okay.
yeah, I forgot we're like one house off for each other. We are.
Uh-huh.
That's right. So,
Hmm.
it'll always be the one after mine.
Okay.
Hmm.
Fun. So exciting for both of us.
Yeah. Oh, and that means he's going to retrograde on January 6th back into your 10th. So for the last half of it, it'll be in your 10th. For the first half of it, it'll be in my 10th. This is why during our meeting a couple weeks ago, I was like, hey, we need to anticipate what's going on and get clear on stuff because this is going to affect
Hmm.
us because it's career stuff, which is
Hmm.
what we do. Yeah.
Well, I could really not like that's not fun.
Hmm.
Fuck you, Mars. Fuck
Yeah.
you, Mars. Also, then yours is going to go into your ninth house. Make sure you backup save copies of the book you're writing on like external hard drives.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got two versions of it on my
Okay.
thing right now.
Just
Yeah, thank you. That is a
mhm,
very good point because I am planning on hopefully getting into the pitching mode in January or so. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Thanks. I'm going to make another draft
Right.
after this
Just
call.
just really put it somewhere else.
Yeah, no, because this one's my most proud. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so excited. I
Oh,
get to read it
yeah.
first, guys.
Em
I
gets to
get to
be the first one to read it after Dan has a
after Dan.
creative writing degree.
Hmm.
So I gave it to him for the first thing because I want it to be polished before it gets on your desk. Like I respect you. So
It's just seen me beta read other people's stuff before. That was
well,
my
we've
I
done it
forget.
together and it's like my comments, your comments.
Right? And Krista's comments are so lovely and so supportive, and I'm in here like this makes no sense. That's a fucking plot hole. Like what is that? So it's never because I've been trying to be mean. I just am like very book critical. But I've been in the publishing side of the book world like my literal
Mhm.
whole life. So for me, it's like the publisher brain
Yeah,
on that
which
side.
is great. It's very helpful.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Mhm.
So all that is to say, Mars retrograde, Mercury retrograde are being jerks already.
Mhm.
Very
Yeah.
much so.
Yeah, I think the point of this episode is mostly just to validate what you're feeling
Yeah.
and to show you in action what it looks
Hmm.
like to feel it and then try to figure out how to work with it. Because it's going to be
Yeah.
there, right? It's like imagine if it rained for 2 months straight and you hated the rain.
Hmm.
You would figure out how to you'd hate going outside, but you'd put on your raincoat. You'd still go to the places you need to go. You wouldn't need
Hmm.
to do it as often, but that's what it is. And that's where we're going to be too, right? It is your wonky kind of weather. For me, that'd be like cold wind. I don't like it. So like,
No, you don't.
no, it doesn't like me either.
No, it's very mean to Krista.
Like that day on the boat.
When you became a Krista
I
couldn't move.
crystallized.
You crystallized, exactly.
Every time there's this like documentary on my the home screen of my TV now, it
Hmm.
plays an ad every once in a while. It's about crystals from the Gaia network. And it's like there are these crystalline fragments. And it's the only time someone ever says my name, right? So I'm just like, wait, what? Because it's my name's KristaLyn.
No, that's fair.
So I keep walking through the living room when that's on and just being like, who called me? It's nobody.
Why is the
Nobody.
TV talking at me? I mean, we can't all be named Emily and have that unique of a name that never gets said out loud. I'll tell you what.
Oh my gosh. So Loki, I'm so glad that I changed my name from my married name because
Hmm.
I'm watching a cheesy Hallmark movie, which by the way, I'm pretty proud of them for their inclusivity over the past couple years and how good they've gotten with that. It's not perfect, but it's better than it was, and we love progress, right?
Yeah.
Um, but that being said, if these people had therapists, there would be no Hallmark movies because they wouldn't have problems the way that they have them because they would, be emotionally mature. But anyway, um, this one
You
comes
mean she
on.
wouldn't go after Frosty if she had a
Never.
therapist?
She would listen to her friend and like handle things without just running away from them all the time. Sure. Life would
Wow.
not no love. Um,
What a concept.
but the main character gets out of a cab, goes into an apartment building that's literally called Montrose. And having grown up with literally nothing with my name on it or anything like that, when I married Dan and took the name Montrose and then suddenly realized there is a Montrose thing everywhere. Wherever you go, there's a Montrose something, whether it's
Hmm.
a stop on the subway, a road, multiple roads, a county, an apartment built, like they got around.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
it almost like creeped me out. So when I changed my name over to Sophia, now I have my own name. I feel better.
Hmm.
It's like quieter. Like I got my privacy back.
That's nice.
Yeah,
I was raised Emily Anderson.
I
So
know.
like
I can't even imagine your poor Scorpio moon.
ah. And then I became even more generic and was Emily Davis for a hot minute. And that was there's a town called Davis, like 2 hours from here, a whole town.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now I feel better. But
Yeah, you have a
uh,
good last name now. I like it.
so do you. So do you.
Thanks. Thanks. I made
Mm-hmm.
it myself.
Oh,
Um,
yeah,
you were
you told me.
there.
I was there.
Random
We were
bus
on a
that I rode
bus.
in. This is another good thing to do. Get good friends.
Seriously
They
though,
will.
like I think I would have fallen off a cliff at this point if you didn't exist. So just
I
put
I
that out
think I would have blipped.
there.
I don't know. I don't know what would have happened.
I don't know what's wrong, but I'm gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, on that note, though, I don't know if you've been feeling this, but the time slips, because again,
Mhm.
times we're playing double dutch with our timelines right now. The time slips have been ridiculous. Like
Mhm.
either time just like jumping ahead, where I'm like, whoa, like how did I just lose an hour of
Mhm.
time? Like I wasn't even doing anything. Like I was just typing this one email, and now it's like an hour later. How did that happen? Like
Mhm.
that sort of thing, or like having to do things twice, like knowing, like how I texted you, I was like, I know I rescheduled this,
Mhm.
but it's not
Yeah,
on my
I knew it.
calendar.
It's all
But I
set. Yeah.
thought we rescheduled. Did I not? Did I just imagine it? So then I texted you like, "Hey, can we reschedule this?" And you're like, "We already did." I'm like, "That's what I thought. It wasn't there anymore."
I've got you.
Uh, but yeah, like just different things like that keep coming up too. So if you're feeling honestly a little bit crazy, just a little
Mhm.
bit crazy, like that stuff, you're like, "Am I? Is it a problem with me? Am I losing my mind?" It's not. The sky
Mhm.
will get better, and you will get better. But I just it's rough right now with time if you're trying to negotiate it in any way. You're meh,
Yeah. Yeah.
meh.
I've had to become like I've been known to work with time as like a thing to like
Yeah.
manipulate it a little bit, speed it up, slow it down, whatever. I've had to
Hmm.
consciously rein it in a couple of times and just be
Hmm.
like, "Whoa." Like, "Excuse me. I need this. Don't you dare." Like I'm very Saturn and Capricorn in the third house, right? Time
Hmm.
needs to do what I tell it to do. I'm a control freak for it. And so there have been several conversations. I actually had time, like a spirit of time, not an angel
Hmm.
of time, because I don't know where that is. Um, but a
I've never
spirit of
talked to
time.
that either.
Right.
Like that's a myth. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure there's an angel type, but like,
Yeah, I haven't found one, by the way. I've researched
hmm,
it on occasion because Dan was curious the one time. But I've talked to time as an energy before, as like an
yeah,
entity.
hmm,
She was really neat. At least that iteration of time.
yeah,
I might start hanging out with that again because yeah.
yeah. If you think about it as humans, what we did is we took distance and decided that's length, like decided
Yeah.
that's like
Hmm.
actual time. Like we just, it's just a measurement of distance. It's just
Hmm.
the amount of time, the amount
Yeah.
of distance our planet's covering in a circle, the amount of different distance you're traveling in a day. Like
Hmm.
we just took actual, like literal miles and
Hmm.
kilometers and decided that's what dictates our life as far as when I need to be to an appointment on Thursday. Like,
Exactly. Yeah, I had this conversation on my live on Monday, because someone was like, "But I was born at 3:30 a.m., so what does that mean?" And I'm like, "The sky doesn't care what time it is. We made up clocks. Like clocks are an
mm-hmm,
us thing. What the sky does, and time is a dimension that's bendable.
yeah,
Like scientists have already talked about how like you age quicker or not as quick depending on the gravity and time being
mm-hmm,
able to be slippy and things. So like we know it's possible. Some of us are feeling it and aware of it and whatever. Um, but yeah, clocks and like your birth time is a very handy tool to let us know how and when we should look at the sky to know where the planets were when you were born.
mm-hmm.
But the planets were there. We're just trying to find a reference point to know what alignment of the planets we're looking at. I
It's
remember
just like
having to explain
coordinates
it
on a
to.
5D level instead of on a
Yeah,
3D level here. Like
yeah,
it's your 5D coordinates of positioning versus
yeah.
your
Instead of like the
3D, just
x-axis,
geographically where
y-axis,
you are.
z-axis, we've got like the other
B
axis.
and curly Q with three dots over it.
Right, the mu axis, the alpha, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's all it is. So all that's to say, fuck you, time. You're an asshole right now. I don't like it.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying
Yeah.
that.
I actually did a post on my Patreon, and I was like, does everyone else just need to vote or vent my fucking
They do.
vent
They do.
about Mercury retrograde? And it like I know I got so many comments from my patrons just being like, it's happened and so happened. I'm like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I so see you. Like,
Well,
get
the
it.
problem with both of these stupid planets, no offense, I'll like you guys later, is that Mercury's retrograding in the sign of Mercury's detriment. Thanks, but no thanks. Mars is
Mm-hmm.
retrograding in January through February in the sign of their fall. Fall is actually referenced more in ancient texts than detriment is as a bad thing. So just Mars and
You
Cancer.
mean right when some like the fall of our empire is officially occurring? Mars falling? What a
Mars,
trip.
who
Who
is
would
the
have thought this
Lord of
guy
the
is
Year for the
correct?
United States this year. Yes. Yeah.
I'm just gonna put Hermes
I know. Hang on.
right here. We're just gonna have a Hermes
I haven't
spotlight.
named my capybara yet, but there.
Stay. Don't go backwards. He's gonna fall backwards off this desk. Like, that is too
That is
poetic.
retrograde.
Uh, that is another good grounding tip. A weighted
Mhm.
stuffy or a
Yes.
dog or a cat or a rabbit. Oh, I didn't let them out this morning. They're glaring at me.
Rabbits are ruled by Mars and so are dogs.
Oh,
I don't know what.
well, Doompaw is definitely ruled by Mars. I don't think like Radish would rather just hide, and that would be enough for her. Thank you.
Oh,
She'll come
Radish
out.
sounds a
She'll
little bit
come
more
out of
Venusian.
yeah. She's very much more Venusian. Radish will come out of her little thing, but she'll just do like a tiny little lap outside the front and kick up her little heels, do a couple binkies, and then
Mhm.
she's good for like a week. She could just stay back in her hutch now for like a week, and she'd be set.
Mhm.
Doompaw's like, well, left the hutch open. Live in the living room now. Can I have a change? Uh, uh,
Oh, another thing I just got dropped for Mars retrograde, be careful of injuries. Like it is a good
oh
time
yeah.
to use physical movement to express and get out any frustration and pent-up energy, but be very careful of injury in doing that. Be
Yeah,
careful.
I wrote that in my weekly forecast that I sent
Hmm.
out was like, hey, please be careful. People are gonna get hurt this week. And
Hmm.
they are like, and
Hmm.
not just a little bit. I think it's gonna be kind of bigger injuries too. So
Hmm.
like please be super safe out there. Also, a lot of the injuries are gonna happen in the dumbest fucking ways. And I'm
Yeah.
so sorry because it's this is the type of energy where you step off the sidewalk and break your ankle. Like and
Hmm.
you're like, anything. How am I broken? That's the energy right now. So
Yeah.
like, be safe. Please be safe.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So it's one of those kinds of weeks. We're with you
Mhm.
in it. It's okay if you're not feeling awesome. It's okay if you are feeling awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
When other people are not feeling awesome, that doesn't mean you have to not feel awesome if you're having good things happen.
Please embrace your good things.
Yeah.
I love those good things for you.
Yeah.
Honestly, everyone should look at some of the good things that they have going on anyway and be
Yep.
like, okay, there is still good stuff happening. Because
Yeah.
there is, like,
Celebrate every
even
victory.
right? Even though we have this Mars situation happening in our business stuff, which we just mentioned, we're like real hyped about. It's gonna be so good. We all have already been looking at it and being like, no, it's good.
Hmm.
Like this energy does feel okay with the business things, or it feels so good with this sort of thing. So it feels good,
Hmm. It's
even
going to
though
be
it doesn't
okay.
feel good.
Yeah. If
That
something
makes
blows
sense.
up or gets destroyed, it's okay. You obviously didn't need it. Otherwise, it wouldn't have gotten destroyed. There's something
Hopefully
that
it's
is there.
oh my God, sometimes my Scorpio moon just like pops the fuck off.
I know.
Like if something blows up, you didn't need it. And Scorpio's like, I'm pretty sure we need the country.
The way it is,
No,
my
no.
Saturn Cancer is like, but guys, and then my Saturn's like, don't hold out hope.
Just
My Jupiter and my Saturn were having conversations with me today over the thing that I mentioned to you about, where it was like,
hmm?
but I have hope. And then Saturn, when inevitably it came back around and like was as I should have expected, Saturn was just like, there it is. There it is.
Of course. Oh, well, thank you guys for being awesome and for listening to us just rant about the sky for the last 40 minutes. Um,
Uh,
we're sending you all of the magic and all of the
mm.
comfort. Yeah.
However
On that
frustrating it
note,
is right now. Oh, sorry.
yeah. No. You should totally spoke. I just yawned. Like you're
Oh,
filling that
I was trying to fill
space.
the space, but you finished very quickly.
Speed yawn. Ha!
Yeah.
This is the most unhinged podcast episode. It's fine.
This is the
I
most
was just gonna
unhinged
say, if you
podcast.
are someone who suffers from seasonal depression, all this stuff on top of that probably means you need to up your therapist contact or
Hmm.
buy one of those sad lamps or something that's gonna help with it because it's gonna be a bit extra spicy.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
because of course this is happening during fucking winter.
Hmm. For us in the Northern Hemisphere. For you in the Southern
Mhm.
Hemisphere, yay, bonus.
Yeah.
1 point.
Perks. But yeah, don't forget to breadcrumb yourself. That's always
Hmm.
my best advice.
Yep.
Find something each week to look forward to, and then literally schedule something each month to look forward to. So as soon as one thing's over, you're not just over and there's nothing to do, you're over and there's something to look forward to. And that doesn't have to be expensive. It's not like you have to pick a trip. It could be as simple as like, oh, well, there's a local band playing and I'm going to go out and listen to them. And that could be a $10 cover charge. Like it can be
Yep.
small things. It can be a crafting night where you get, you know, you dig out all of your stuff and try your sewing machine again or whatever. Like it doesn't have to be big, but please breadcrumb yourself. It helps so fucking much, especially when time is being a jerk.
Yep. I go to a bakery. Dan and I have a brunch date every week, and we top it
Hmm.
off by going to a bakery that has the best oatmeal cream pies ever. And I dip
Mm,
it in coffee, and that is like the cornerstone of my week. And I get
yeah,
it's a literal crumb at the end of the week that I get to look
yeah,
forward to.
perfect.
Yeah, it's
That's
that easy.
amazing.
Hmm.
Yeah. What do I do each week? I don't have a schedule. I'm just a big being of chaos that throws himself. It's fine.
It works.
Sure. Yeah, it does. And
Hmm.
I'm still standing. All right. Let's take all of this energy that you want to three. Go
Go
make
make
some
some
magic.
magic.
Sparkle.
Yay.